it's Michelle. In today's video, I'm making my childhood's favorite dish, chicken soup with bamboo shoots. Thanks for everyone's support. I have received many beautiful poems and stories from many different small writers. I will read some stories today. If you are a small writer, feel free to email me your books, stories, if you want them to be read in my videos. I hope it can be something simple but warm so people can feel happy, calm, or relaxed after hearing them. Before I read today's stories, I want to introduce you this soup. My hometown, Hangzhou, is famous for its beautiful lakes and slow-paced, relaxing lifestyle. When spring comes, bamboo shoots grow so fast on every hill. For my dad, some fresh bamboo shoots, a piece of Jinhua ham, and a free-range old hen are 3 must-haves to make this soup. Some people like to boil the whole chicken, but my dad likes to cut up the chicken. Starting with cold water, boil it for 5 minutes. Wash off the dirty things. Then fry the chicken until the skin is golden brown. Besides these ingredients, my dad would only put ginger slices, green onions, cooking wine, and salt into the soup. He has always been a super easygoing man who agrees with my mom 90% of the time. For the rest of 10%, he cooks in his way without any compromise. Just like me, my mom likes to look for ingredients in the fridge, put whatever she likes into a stew. My dad always stopped her from doing that. He said all the ingredients in a soup should be carefully balanced. You don't want more than 3 colors in one look unless you are an artist. You don't want more than 3 ingredients in a soup unless you are a Michelin chef. I agree with what my dad said, but as you can see, my cooking habits are mostly influenced by my mom. Chicken was pretty expensive when I was a child. We basically ate chicken once a month. Whenever we had this dish, my parents always gave the chicken heart to me, because in Chinese, chicken heart pronounces like memory. It's like a tradition that parents want their children to eat the chicken heart and improve memory. My mom liked the chicken breasts and chicken wings. I liked chicken legs. My dad said his favorite part of a chicken were its head, back, and skin. I was like, oh, it's great that each of us gets our favorite part. Later, my parents got divorced. I lived with my dad for 3 years. In these 3 years, he still cooked chicken soup. Something different was that he started to eat chicken wings and chicken breasts. He seemed to enjoy these parts better than chicken head. Now my dad lives alone. He can enjoy the whole chicken by himself now. But I'm not sure if he still enjoys eating the whole chicken by himself. Alright, that was my favorite childhood dish. For the rest of the time, I will read you a lovely story written by Brett. His friend translated this story into Chinese, so I will read this story in both English and Chinese for you. Princess Violet the Giant. 巨人莉亚公主 Princess Violet was a giant. 莉亚公主是个巨人。Standing a mere 28 inches tall, Violet was certainly a most uncommon giant. 可是她是最不寻常的巨人，因为实际上莉亚的身高仅有70公分。Even though she was quite young, she felt she possessed more power and wisdom than anybody else in the kingdom. 从莉亚公主很小的时候，她就认为自己比王国中的其他任何人都更加聪明和强壮。So she instructed every person in the kingdom from the bravest knight down to the lowest peasant to treat her as they would treat a giant. 于是他命令王国中的每个人，上至骑士，下至农民，都要像对待巨人一样对待他。By the time she was 7 years old, she had begun to believe her untold story. 到莉亚7岁的时候，她已经开始相信自己编织的谎言。Violet believed she was a giant. 那就是她相信自己就是一个巨人。You there, she yelled at the bishop. Bow down to me before you pass by.I am a giant, and I will squish you like a spider if you upset me. 喂，你过来！他对着主教大喊：“我命令你每次经过我时都要鞠躬，因为我是巨人。如果你惹我不高兴的话，我会像捏死一只蜘蛛一样把你捏碎。” The bishop trembled, for he knew that it was never wise to argue with the princess.主教吓得瑟瑟发抖，但他知道和公主争辩是不明智的。Forgive me, your majesty, he said. I bow before you. 所以他回答说，请原谅我，公主殿下，每次路过您，我一定给您鞠躬。Her parents, the king and queen, did not act any differently than anybody else.就连他的父母、国王和王后也跟其他人一样，对雅丽公主的发号施令100%顺。Yelling at people seemed to make her deepest desires come true. 只要冲着别人恐吓叫唤，别人就都会满足自己所有的心愿。At the very least, it made grown-ups afraid of her.至少会让那些大人们害怕自己。She liked that. 她喜欢这种高高在上的感觉。I am the biggest person in the whole kingdom, she declared to the villagers. 我是世界上最高最大的人，她告诉王国里的百姓们。Be careful, if I become unhappy, I may decide to crush your cottages with one step of my foot. 听好了，你们给我当心点，不开心的话，当心我一脚把你们的房子踩烂。Some of the commoners scratched their heads. Did this pint-sized princess actually believe she was a giant?一些老百姓听到之后挠头不已，他们暗想，难道这位娇小的公主真的以为自己是个巨人吗？ Still, they did as she commanded, because after all, she was the king's daughter. 尽管疑惑，他们依旧按照雅丽公主的命令去做，毕竟她是国王的女儿。One day, Violet decided to take a walk through the forest. 一天，公主决定去森林里散步。I think I will go take a look at the very tops of the trees, she said to herself. Or perhaps I would touch some clouds or feel the top of the sky. 她边走边自言自语，我想我可以看一看树梢。或许我还可以摸一摸白云或者天空。It was a very pleasant day. There were no clouds in the sky that day. 这天的天气不错，温和日丽，万里无云。After a time, Violet came across a very little boy who was hiding behind a bush. 过了一会儿，雅丽公主突然看到灌木丛后面躲着一个小男孩。You, down there, Violet thundered. What's your name, and what are you doing in my forest? 你给我出来！雅丽公主吼道。你是谁？你在我的森林里做什么？ The boy did not answer. This surprised Violet. People were usually very quick to respond to her. 小男孩没有回答她，这让雅丽公主有点惊讶。因为人们通常会对她有问必答，不敢有丝毫怠慢。Hey, Princess Violet screamed at the top of her lungs. come out from behind that bush. 喂，他冲着小男孩大声喊叫，你快给我出来。Very slowly, the boy did as Violet had commanded. When he appeared, Violet gasped, for here was the tiniest child she had ever encountered. 当他出现在莉亚面前时，莉亚倒抽了一口气，因为这个小男孩是他遇到过最小的小孩。He was crying. 小男孩哭个不停。I'm sorry, he sobbed. 对不起，小男孩边抽泣边说。I was hiding because you were so big, and I was afraid you could step on me, the boy said. 我躲起来是因为你太大了，我怕你一脚踩扁我。What's your name? Violet asked in an unfriendly voice. 你叫什么名字？莉亚公主问得很不客气。Mortimer, the boy said. 莫提莫，小男孩说道。Please, please do not kill me, he begged. 求求您，公主殿下，请您不要杀了我，他祈求道。I'm not going to hurt you, foolish child, Violet said. 莉亚公主说，你可真傻，我没打算要伤害你。Although she continued to speak in her loud, brutish way, the princess almost felt sorry for this little human. 虽然她嗓门很大，语气很凶，但她心里却有点为这个小男孩感到难过。Why are you crying? She demanded. 你为什么要哭？她逼问小男孩。Mortimer sniffed.I am crying because I am an ant, he said. 莫提莫抽了抽鼻子说，我哭是因为我是一只蚂蚁。Violet was astonished. What are you talking about? She said, a little annoyed. You are not an ant. 莉亚公主吃了一惊，你在胡说什么？她有点恼火，你怎么会是蚂蚁？Mortimer took out a small handkerchief and blew his nose. Forgive me for saying so, princess, he said, but everybody in this part of the village knows I am just a tiny ant. 莫提莫掏出一条手帕，擦了擦鼻涕说，请你原谅我说的话，公主，但是村庄里的每个人都知道，我只是一只很小的蚂蚁。Who told you that you were an ant? Violet asked the boy. 谁告诉你你是一只蚂蚁的？莉亚公主问。My mother and father, he said sadly. 是我爸爸妈妈，小男孩伤心地说。Sometimes my brothers and sisters call me different things, but mostly just an ant. Nobody will play with me because I am so small.有时候我的兄弟姐妹也会叫我别的名字，但大多数时候就只是叫我小蚂蚁的。没有人和我一起玩，因为我只是一只很小的蚂蚁。Violet examined the boy who was staring at her with terrified eyes. You're not that small, Violet said. You're certainly not small enough to be an insect. 你并不小。莉亚公主说，再怎么小也不会小到像一只蚂蚁。I am very small to them, Mortimer said, still looking at Violet and trembling in fear. 在别人眼里我就是很小的，莫提莫看着莉亚公主，害怕地发抖。But to you, I can't believe you can even see me at all. 但是我都不敢相信，您竟然能看到我。I must seem like nothing more than a speck to a giant like you. 我以为在您这样的巨人眼中，我可能只有芝麻粒儿这么小。I am not really a giant, Violet said. 我不是真正的巨人，莉亚公主说。Not really a giant. Had she really uttered those words? 不是真正的巨人，莉亚公主不敢相信自己竟然真的这么说了出来。It was like an electric shock had jolted her back into reality. 这句话如同一阵电击一般，把她带回到了现实。Blurting out the truth like that was like uncovering a very old and beautiful treasure from a dusty blanket. 久违的真相脱口而出，仿佛掀开一块尘土飞扬的毯子，露出一件古老而美丽的宝盒。Begging your pardon, Madam, Mortimer said, but you look very much indeed like a giant to me. 公主殿下，请您原谅我，莫提莫说，但是在我看来，您是真正的巨人。Suddenly, tears began to spill down Violet's cheeks, though she did not really understand why. 突然，眼泪从莉亚公主的脸颊滑落下来，但她自己也说不清是为什么。Her mouth opened as if to speak, but she found she could not say anything. 她张开嘴，似乎想说些什么，但发现自己什么话也说不出来。She was no longer looking at the giant with fear. Violet's gaze had also changed. 看着眼前这位巨人，此时的莫提莫却不再像之前那样害怕了。莉亚的眼神也变得温和可亲。This tiny child who had forced her to realize the truth about herself wasn't so tiny at all. 毕竟这个小男孩并不是真的那么小。To her, he was just about the biggest person in the kingdom. 对他来说，在他心里，这个小男孩可能才是整个王国中最大的人。Would you like to play with me? Violet asked Mortimer. 你愿意和我一起玩吗？莉亚问莫提莫。Oh, of course, Mortimer answered. I'd like to play with you as long as you don't step on me. 哦，当然愿意，莫提莫回答。我非常想跟你一起玩，如果你保证不会踩我的话。My promise, Violet said. 我保证不会，莉亚说。The end. 已结束。I hope we can all find someone who gives us courage to face ourselves and love ourselves. Hope you also like this story. Have a wonderful week. See you on next